Hi, everybody. Happy Monday, the day of muns. We're going to mun it up today. Ow! It's the first Monday after Kurtfest weekend. Everybody had the most amazing time. It was the craziest show. All of us performers are just dead. I'm a freaking... Yeah, I'm a zombie. I'm a crazy zombie. Yay! All right, let's say hi to y'all real quick. Dan Anderson hopped in earlier. Thanks so much, buddy. And Heathen Granny. TM, trademark, right there. Kubrick Lover, 1972. QB, my good bud. Thomas Christ, of course, the Legend of Lynx, the magical mod. And the real Justine has been waiting for something to happen this morning, and here it is! Woohoo! Let's see. Bloody Ritual, welcome! So nice to see you. Normally you are somewhere else. All right. I've got some other people. I can see you in the reflected in the numbers. So hi to you, lurker people. And to the people who are going to watch on the replay, hopefully you will, because we're going to have some fun today. Live on the Oldiverse. Uh-oh. My star is here. Hey, it's Semtex Cow. My star, the cat, she's over there waiting. I'm going to go on doggo walks after this. All right, cutie, you want to come up and get this? Well, I'm going to place some food right here on her star perch. And then we're going to go play around with a drum synthesizer and a neural network. So fun. Woo. Wow, she did a high leap. There she is. Attacking the food. All right, if you want to get connected with me, try the link tree. Right on. Or join me on YouTube. Thank you so much. And of course, there's the super chats, the super D stickers, the super everything. All the things we like to see. Yes, there they are right there. Sweet. Right on. Let's head on over to the real star of the show, Isla the iPad, and we'll look at what we've got going on here today. Let's hop right in. Getting to work. That's why the pie is getting out of here, because she doesn't want to work. She's just pure laziness. All right, let's spiral in. Whee! I'm in my corner. Today's app is Axon 3 on the App Store. Now, Jade did this a little while ago and did an amazing tutorial. That is in the description. But we're going to just play around and see if what we can get it to do in real time. And the DAW, and you know, just go over gently some of the stuff that's going on here. Let's head to the App Store where the description is. And I'll just read that too, because, you know, I like to read. Woohoo! Right, okay. So this is Axon 3. It's not just an update, but it's a complete overhaul of the legendary Axon series. Hey, Willie. And the deal. So you picture... It's inspired by the complex workings of artificial neural networks. You picture your neurons, they're buzzing with energy, they're passing triggers in a dance of precision and chaos. When a neuron hits its trigger threshold, it doesn't just respond, it sings through its internal synth voice, or it sends out a pulse into the MIDI universe, or both. The connections between these neurons are not random. They're like the building blocks. They're the building blocks of a rhythm sequencer unlike any. And with a dash of probability magic, we've introduced a drum programming style that's utterly unique. But that's not all. Each neuron in Axon 3 comes equipped with the powerhouse of a synth voice, drawing on the best of both subtractive and FM synthesis, supercharged with a model inspired by our Boomtschack analog hardware drum module. Axon 3 wraps all this rhythmic innovation in a sleek interface complete with full mixer, crystalline delay, punchy compressor, and multiple outputs. Whether you're crafting your next IDM masterpiece, scoring a film, or just exploring new song territories, Axon 3 is your co-pilot in this thrilling journey into sound. Are you ready to break the rhythm barrier? Welcome to Axon 3. Yes, I'm playing with a drum AI's brain very much. So who came in? APPy Metal Buzz. So nice to see you. And Sean Chandler, of course. Very, very nice. All right, I'm going to open up just for fun. Let's open up AUM, and I just threw a setting called Club Side Door on here with a couple of synths just to throw in something. It's alive! Yes, right? Oh, hang on a second. I have to. It's just for fun. Open, load. Oh, I think it's Chill 5.
Your life is yours to create.
Never mind. It's alive! Wait, no. All right, let's just listen. I'm going to throw one. Let's throw one in anyway.
You got to be able to ask yourself, hey man, is this a dream? See, most people never ask themselves that when they're awake, or especially when they're asleep. Seems like everyone's sleepwalking through their waking state or wake-walking through their dreams.
Just sounds kind of cool. The pie's ignoring you. That's because all she's doing is thinking. She can't stop thinking about temptations, which I don't have any of over here. So this is just a little, see? We'll sing. As you can see, this is called Club Side Door, and it's got, you can see the way that, two different ways that the things are working. And also, while we're listening to this, I'm going to go over to this photo, which will show you kind of what's going on here. So, pie's only a little bit in the way. So, the center node is number 1, and then 2 on top, 3, 4, 5, they go around in clockwise, okay? And then the same is 1 through 7 here at the bottom. So as you can see, as they are moving, you can see them triggering. Boom, 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 boom. Let's check. Let's go to their default. This is the only one I thought sounded good with this. You know what? Let's just clear this. Boom. Bye-bye. All right, now let's open up an Axon 3 straight away. And we'll just take a look at what we've got here. So there's 2 different ways to work with your neuron, nod, whatever you want to call it. So you either tap it with tap the actual nodule, or you tap the corresponding box on the bottom. So see, the box number 2 shows, and if you forget, you can actually go, okay, now I know which one, 3, 4, there it is. 5 here, 6, 7. Right. And each one has does something. So we'll start, let's start with an init patch. I'm not going to go too far on this, but I don't want you to have to watch Jade's just to get here. So, right. So the clock rate is the first important thing here. And I'm going to read it to you I took some notes. So my notes, and these are the things that I decided I'm interested in covering today. So there's just a couple pages, that's all, right? So threshold, important, is like the most important thing. The neurons each have a counter that keeps track of how many pulses they receive. So when the number of received pulses exceeds the threshold value, the neuron fires, and 5 things happen simultaneously. The neuron sends a pulse to any other neurons that are connected to it. That's via those little lines. It triggers its corresponding synthesizer voice. It generates a sound. It transmits a MIDI note message to anything that could be connected to it. It could be a software, hardware, synth. The neuron flashes briefly and it resets the pulse counter to 0. So and this is where the clock rate comes in, so be patient. A neuron's threshold has a value from 0 to 16. If the threshold is 0, the neuron will fire every time it receives a pulse. If the threshold is 1, it will fire every other time it receives a pulse. If the threshold is 2, etc., etc., etc. So the neuron's counter is displayed with a blue arc inside the neuron, which fills as the counter increases with each incoming pulse, right? So the how you know how many pulses are coming is the clock rate. It sets the metrical unit. So if you set the clock rate to 1/8, it will trigger neuron 1 every 8th note. Setting it to 1/16 will trigger neuron 1 every 16th note. So basically, that's your trigger for neuron 1. And you can route. The only thing is you can't make a loop. So you can do anything else. Let's play. And let's see. There's solo and mute. So let's solo. So this is right. Let me take you down. So we're on neuron 1. And neuron 1 at this. So I'm going to change our clock rate to 1/8. So every 8th note will get triggered here because our threshold is set to 0. And now let's just hit. Let's just use randomizer current voice. Let's hit play. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And it's just randomizing the voice. It's supposed to be like a hi-hat right here. Oh, I kind of like this hi-hat. Let's take some of the decay out. Let's bend our oscillator a little bit. Bend it a little less. Change the oscillator, change the tune. Turn our little click down. Turn some decay down. Now see, look we're in the center here. If it's all the way down here, this FM, XY. And here's our timbre over here. Oh, this is just noise, so this is an oscillator plus a noise. And there's our mix. We're mixing it in between. Boy, that's loud. You can change the noise. I like to turn the attack way up. And then you have filters on top of them. Pac-Man. Okay, so let's. Now it's every 4th note. Gosh, I hate that voice. I don't hate this. This is cool. All right. So now we've soloed. Let's unsolo. So, oh, one more thing. If we send up the effects, we'll get a delay effect. So we'll go over here to Mixer and Effects. And we'll kick up the delay a little. See? Now you can hear it. A little bit of delay. Just a teach. Just a teens. Whoops. We've got this. It's listening. Hey, good. Right? Okay. Whoops. Oh, no. Kitty, what's up? That sounded like Pac-Man, right? Oh, here we go. We've got this back. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to use route. Because route is the only way we're going to get an extra one. So let's go over here. Make sure I don't have that soloed. Let's unsolo. Let's turn this routing back off. Now we've got a simple thing going on. If we come over here to this third, this is the third one, we can randomize the voice. Kind of like this one. Maybe turn the res down a bit. It's panning. So you could just come and let's route again. Let's route this first one back to... There we go. Now we routed the second one to the third one. And we can also go back. Let's turn off route and we'll go back to the first one and we'll route. And then, so now we've got these. Now we will take this second one. Let's solo. Let's do something different with this. Okay, this little voice. Let's maybe, if we change the threshold, watch what happens. See? Now it skips. Kind of rad. Now let's see what it sounds like in the mix. Let's get this 3. Let's solo it. Sounds like a wet splat. Now it's on every third pulse. So now let's turn off the solo and see what happens. And you can even tune them. It's crazy. So you can pitch quantizer. This section works on all the neurons right here where I'm. So I'm just going to change it to a C major scale just in case things make noise. Let's I'm going to throw on I'm going to throw in a launch pad, and instead of doing we'll just put in a bass and a melodic. First we're at 118. And we have to set it to A minor because we've set it to C major. That sounds pretty samey. Let's we just added a fourth one. And here we're on number 4. Let's set threshold to 2. To 4. Now only every 4 pulses. Let's get that sound soloed. We're on 4. Now let's do something with this one. Okay, let's take the likelihood down. So here we see, right over here, this blue light will light when it hits, when it goes. So I've taken the likelihood down to about 74%, so it won't always go. And then I would keep my velocity, and we'll randomize the velocity a little. And this is how you get like some nice vibe. Let's throw in a little bit of potential for ratchet. 1 repeat. Hopefully it'll... Let's turn the likelihood way up. See, there you go. Let's unsolo that. That one noise, I'm like, I like that noise. That splat's a little too splatty for me now. I don't hate that. So the splat's number 3, I think. Yep. Let's change that voice. You can see what kind of... Wow. Some pretty crazy stuff. Hey, Jim Shannon. Ooh, I like that. That's kind of nice. Now let's... Let's go through and set some likelihoods. We're on 1. 1, let's leave the likelihood, but let's change the velocity. I'm going to leave the likelihood at 100 so that we'll just get that same... It'll just keep going, right? But every once in a while, let's throw in a tiny little ratchet, like a tiny, tiny ratchet with 1 repeat. Okay, now to 2. So 2 is up at top. Let's keep our velocity. Let's take it down. I mean, take our likelihood down. Take our velocity down, up the randomization a bit. I like that. And then, of course, this is just a real simple little one, yeah? Now let's go to 3. Let's turn that likelihood down, 76%. Let's randomize some velocity. Let's not ratchet that at all. Now 4. So we've got a little ratchet on there. Filter, oscillator plus noise. Let's go. Hey, Mark's GS Station. But you could also add, like, if you wanted a big kick in here, you could just add a kick, and you could just have your, like, this is what I mean. Now see how you've got just a simple beat, but let's try that. That's a kick. So I got a kick that's going, and now we've got see, we got a pretty good sound here. Even without this. We could come back over here and we could add like a, let's add a new, actually let's go here, let's turn on route. We're in the center, we're in our center one right here. We're gonna route it right here. Let's solo. Now we'll turn off route. You can also, oh, hang on a second. So I want to unroute. You just hit it again. See? I didn't even have to change these, right? Let's go to this one. Let's solo it. Ooh, that's nice. That gives you a nice... We might want to make that... Let's see if we can get it funkier. Now we'll move. Change the wave. Listen to that. I just touched the... Let's get that all the way down. Yeah, nice and low. Playing with the envelope shape, playing with the attack, playing with the decay. See how you can just kind of change your wave bend? Now it's going to bend just a little. Ooh, that's nice. So I just moved this FM slider here. I know this is super hard to understand. I don't understand it either, thanks. Hey, Gary Hubbs. Hello, my buddy. All right. See how our probabilities are going, our likelihood. Let's turn the likelihood down. Let's change our velocity. Let's throw an occasional ratchet. Why not? Small one. Now here. Almost every time. Always like to velocity randomize. It's just a thing I do. Let's go over to the mixer and effects section. So if you see the mixer and effects section, you'll notice that you can actually mess with each one. So we're seeing each level. So you have an effect send. So let's put a little effect on all of these. All the ones that are working. Ooh, yeah, you can hear that. Just a little. Nice. I feel that. You can barely hear it, but I can totally feel it. Now, why don't we click on the top thing here. Let's click to user and click save preset. And I'm going to call this, let's actually just use this random name generator. Blind stab. Sure, let's save it. Now I've got this blind stab. You close that. Let's go back to my little list. Oh, let's make some prettier sounding stuff. Nice. Let's double check our notes and see what we've got. Okay, so clock rate was something I covered, which was important. The routing. Can't make a loop. That's important. All right. Let's go MIDI note 2. Chooses one of two options for how incoming notes are handled. If it's set to sequencer, MIDI notes trigger the neuron's pulse counter in the same manner as pulses from other neurons, right? If it's set to synth, MIDI notes trigger the neuron synthesizer voice directly. The synth sequencer option is useful driving Axon sequencer in unusual ways. For instance, you can trigger it with irregularly spaced notes in a DAW track to impart a feel or groove which Axon otherwise lacks. Weird. Use the synth option if you want to use Axon as a tone generator. So why don't we? Let's go back. Back to AUM. So here we go, trigger mode, synth only, MIDI and synth. Send MIDI note to, MIDI note to sequencer, MIDI note to synth. Let's see, MIDI note in, MIDI note out. Sound a little. Let's get a MIDI note in. So we've clicked the MIDI I/O. $66. All right, let's starts at 60. So let's grab a MIDI. Let's grab something fun like a drum. Let's try drum computer MIDI. Bacon plum jam. Let's see if it works. See that? They were doing separate. Ooh, how do we close that? Oh, there we go. Yeah, so it just keeps hitting the synths now separately. So we've got extra stuff coming in along with what you've got. Whew, pretty cool. Or let's go for the hell of it, right? It says MIDI in and out, so let's go to an audio. Let's just find find a piano. And see what happens if we send this piano over here, right? Wow. Wow. So it's going out. Basically, every time it pulses every time it hits this number 6, neuron 6. So let's go back to neuron 1, MIDI note 2, so you could just do this kind of, and since we're in C major, then it works. It probably might not work if we weren't in C major, but so it just gives you kind of a Hey, Live to Fly channel, welcome. Jim Shannon says he's been messing around with Groove Rider 2 over the weekend, and it's not very intuitive. That's a bummer. Ed Zielinski, welcome. She's pissed. She says no temptations. What the hell? It's because she attacked the temptations. So this sounds super cool. Let's go check our notes and find out if there's anything else we need to be paying attention to. Hey, covered by CQ. So this is just kind of a little... It's not that exciting, but... Your mileage might vary. I'll probably be using it. I can't afford anything right now, so I keep trying to win stuff or get them from the developers, and I'm doing better all the time with that. So you could actually just like add a little Alteza or something. So it's just these same notes. We could probably get rid of, let's undo one. Let's just send it. Now let's go to neuron 2. So you could do it with, like, say, because these are notes, they're separated. If like say you wanted the chance of having some. Let's turn this back to synth only. So let's go to 3. Neuron 3 and change it. And then neuron 5 and change it. And now we'll only get things that are in a chord, like a C chord. Hawkeye, the hue. Pi and I say. I'm saving up for my house taxes, so this sounds really cool. Let's resave this. Oops. You gotta get back there and change that. What do we call it? Blind stab. Save. So now let's see. User. Whoops. I accidentally stuck it in here. Blind stab. Whoa. Nope, I guess it's it just went right over it. Really cool. Okay, now let's play. Let's just go through a couple of these. This is a basic 4 on the floor. Ooh, this one says MIDI out only, C minor. Let's play with that. Now we'll change this to C minor and see if that works. Wow, it does. So it's not. I'm adding my own percussion now. See, this is what's happening. So you hear nothing now. Wow. Your rent's going to increase by $200 in April. Boo. I'm digging this. All right, let's not necessary rhythm. Let's get rid of the ones that we have in here. This works. Now let's just go through a couple of these. Crickets. Simple beat example. Now let's look at what it looks like. So let's close this. See, simple beat only has 3 neurons. Let's check what the neurons are doing in here. Neuron 1, threshold of 0, full likelihood, pretty decent amount of velocity, no ratchet. Now I'll find 2. The threshold's 3. So again, 3 pulses and then it'll hit. Let's solo that voice. Notice, see how quickly? So our clock rate is at 1/16. Unsolo. Check number 3. It's got a threshold of 1, so it's going about half as fast. Likelihood full, all of these likelihood full. So this is just a nice little, and of course, so simple beat example, why don't we just take our router? I'll go down here. Now you come in here, let's solo that. It's just tap, tap. I'm not. Oh, I see. It's ratcheting. Interesting. Yeah, there we go. Now we'll route the center out. There we go. Pretty simple. As he said, institutionalized. Doesn't sound good. This one's called pastoral. So let's change, make sure we're at in C major. This is kind of a bass. Sounds good. Let's try on some things like isometric beat. Ratcheting is when extra notes come up. 4 measures of fury. House your body. Dublin. It's actually double fast. Yes, no, the siren's on my stream. That's cruel. I should stop. Clicking. That's not half bad. There's the bot groove. There's G pentatonic. There's just so much. And there's designer stuff. DJ empirical. Let's solo that for a second. So it's clear that this has a sound. So let's make sure it's major. All this is like going in here. Stop soloing. Like, here's my ride. additional percussion. I like this. So this is something you would use like with a big, let's find just a kicky kick. This one doesn't have any. Let's find another retro disco. Here we go. Now we want back to A minor. So now just our percussion, ancillary pulses. Wow, this sounds cool. Make sure we got our in C major. Yeah, right? Yeah, exactly. Groove Writer 2 is a standalone app. This is so fun. And of course we can take this off. This was adding some percussion everywhere. Very nice. Now you can get some things in here like Bartholomew Cubbins, Big Scream. And the thing is, you can go through each one of these and you can start modulating it, like bouncing off space things. Like I've already been, so I say I don't want G harmonic minor, I want C major. Whee. Major. Now it just sends everything and turns it into add some let's get some different music in here. Future funk. I like extra drums. Bon Bon! Very nice to see you. This is all funky, right? Woo! All right. Let's check our notes and make sure we don't have any more things I wanted to cover. Yes, Axon has the usual selection of CC messages, indeed. And it's quite useful because you could actually say, by following this trigger mode right here, so MIDI note out. If your MIDI note in comes to the sequencer, it messes with this. And it basically, it sends each note, like each time it resets, it does something weird, and it's impossible for me to actually explain it, but you kind of get the point. It just changes, so it hits the sequencer instead of the actual synth, which means that it'll start the whole sequence over again, and that can end up making a lot of little interesting variations. So then when you come to MIDI note out, so synth only, MIDI plus synth. So that's how we run our little piano over there. So you can actually send some of them to your inner synth and some of them to an outer synth. It's quite cool. And then of course, let's go back to something a little more, let's go to a basic 4 on the floor. All right. And we'll just kind of let that go. So change the clock rate and watch. That's half the speed because only the clock is sending notes, sending a pulse to the center neuron 1, 8 times per measure. And now let's do something fun. Let's randomize the current voice again. That's very cymbally. This just randomizes your whole, if you're watching the bottom. That's a nice little hi-hat. So, okay, I think now we're back. Let's go to my notes. Okay, we've handled MIDI note 2. Ooh, modulate filter. The mod source pop-up menu. Let's see if we can. So it says the filter's frequency can change as the note plays. That is, it can be modulated. The mod source pop-up menu chooses one of 3 sources for the modulating signal: the noise generator's amplitude envelope generator, the oscillator's pitch bend envelope generator, or the oscillator's audio signal. The mod amount knob sets how much the modulation source changes the filter's frequency. This knob is bidirectional. At its center position, the modulation source does not affect the filter. Turn the knob clockwise and the modulation source will increase the filter's frequency. Turn it anti-clockwise and the modulation will decrease the filter's frequency. The text swish on the left labeled filter chooses whether only the noise sources or the noise sources in the oscillator pass through the filter. Click the text to toggle back and forth between the 2 options. Let's go look. Let's see if we can find mod source. Here we go. Mod source. Noise. Oscillator. And type. Your mod amount is happening. There's a low pass filter instead. Ooh, I like that way better. So let's use that mod source, the oscillator. Send a little effect. Ooh, that's nice. There we go. She's like, no temptation, she's out of here, right? So we've already changed our basic 4 on the floor just a touch. So double checking because we're getting close to the end. The FX send knob, that's what we just used, directs some or all of the voices sound to the delay effect shown on the mixer and effects panel. If you leave all the FX send knobs at their 0 position, you won't hear the delay at all because it's not receiving any sound at its input. Turning up the knob sends the voices sounds to the delay. Next, we're going to, so we'll just send it way up just for fun. Okay, we're on 1. Listen to that. Fat delay. There we go. I put oscillated and then noise through the filter. See the filter one right here? I put the oscillator and the noise. And here we go. There's oscillator only mix. There's all the way to the right, the noise, right in the center, like that. And then, of course, can change it. Right on. So we got that. That sounds good. All right, next, let's hit the let's hit the very last thing on our list, the randomizer. And this is something that can help you. The round buttons beneath the heading randomizer, when clicked, set different groups of parameters to random settings. The names of the buttons are largely self-explanatory, but there's a couple of subtleties worth mentioning. Network deletes all the connections between neurons and then makes about a third of all possible connections between neurons chosen at random. Let's do that. So network. Let's go back. Now watch. Whoa! It's just different. It's got 3 of them that are doing the same thing. Change it again. You can just mess around until you think it starts sounding different. All right, back over to our all voices. Sets the sound generation parameters of all the voices to random values. Does not affect the sequencer, MIDI, or mixer parameters. So you're going to see all voices. Yikes. Back to basic 4 on the floor. That was driving me insane. Let's change the network again. So the threshold. See, look, now you can just change all the thresholds around. Just double check that if there's no subtleties. Current voice, same as all voices, but affects... Oh, threshold sets the threshold parameter of each voice to a random value. Let's go back and do it. Wow, now it's totally changing our... Kind of like that. Let's put the, put some more sound in here. Hey, Jerry! Yes, this is available for Windows and Mac. Let's, right here, audio damage. Audio damage, Axon 3, $89. Formats, Windows 10 or newer and a 64-bit DAW. Mac OS 10.13 High Sierra or newer and a 64-bit DAW. iOS 11 or newer and a separate purchase. Sweet! Thanks a bunch, Thomas. Right? Back to our... Let's go back. Make double sure that we haven't checked everything. Okay. Ooh. Pitches sets the oscillator tune parameter of all voices to a random value constrained to within an octave above or below the current tune value. And everything is like clicking every single other randomizer button, but it doesn't affect the sequencer, MIDI, or mixer parameters. Beware, in some cases you, or rather your host program, won't be able to undo the effect of clicking the randomization buttons. It's prudent to make sure that you've saved Axon's state in a preset if you want to get back to where you started before randomizing. That's what I'm talking about. Linux has a free DAW now. Nice. And I love this. So let's back here. Let's randomize everything. See, you watch. Oh my. Oh my. Back to blind stab. You could add a little. You could add something like, let's add another MIDI here. Let's add octachron. So checking octachron, let's go sequencer settings. That's not it. Here it is. It here? Oh, here we go. MIDI mapping apps. Whoops, Axon 2. Let's hope that Axon 2 is right. So grab ourselves a kick. Sequence, never on play. Now we'll just add in and let's see if we can get this to kind of now it's like makes it just a little bit more dynamite. I think that I might have given you a little bit more of a way to use this for your own stuff. Just giving you a few little ideas and gone through some of the things that I've seen that I didn't think I saw enough attention to on, not at Jade's, of course, but at, you know, some of the other things. She's always doing everything. I just thought I'd go in depth on a little couple things. This blind stab sounds good. How about in a knit? So if we go, let's come back to factor, initialize. Route. Yeah, just a nice little tick, tick, tick. So if we only want to send only the neurons, it's only to the synth. That neuron 2 is just hitting. Let's try like one more designer. Illegal character. Invalid reference. Misplaced continue. Missing condition. Kind of like that. Have to be a different. Pop whispers. Sounds good in fast beats. I definitely think it's better in like to put a big sweet. Where do I plug in? Anyway, I've been using this in AUM as an AUV3. It's only an AUV3. Boom. Let's end that. Nice. I think hopefully you learned a little bit of something. We had some fun. We just threw in, that's your cool, you can make some really cool drum sounds in there. You can run it with a separate sequencer, or you can use it as a sequencer. Or you can use it together and it's a sequencer and a synthesizer. So super cool. I love it. I think, well, let's just double check my notes and make sure I didn't forget anything, but it's definitely time to get out of here. Yep, we are done. Let me say goodbye to you with my face for just a moment. This is the App Store right here, Thomas. And next up, we've got Jade Star. And heck, I thought I remembered what app she was doing. Hey. Jade Star's taking a bite out of Dynabit by Calum Audio. Hi. I've nerded out for you enough today. So, Jade Star's taking a bite out of Dynabit by Calum Audio. Next, you will be auto-magically moved forward. You don't have to do a thing. Just be here. And you in the chat will be moved right on over to Jade's. Followed by Pete Johns, and then by Frank Terzo and the Community Pulse. Tomorrow, we're going to learn about hashtags and SEO and promoting your stuff via that kind of internet stuff is what we're doing tomorrow. And then Wednesday, of course, as usual, just doing a performance show, trying to bring up everyone's energy this week. And Chill Zone is the featured artist on this Friday's Midnight Chill. That's everything, you guys. Ooh, sweet. Right on, my friends. We shall see you over at Jade's. And if not there, then I will see you around the webs or right back here. So, big love, everybody, and all the peace you can carry. In both pockets and two hands. Grip, grip, grip that peace. Be good to each other, everyone. Thank you so much.